Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the show of shows with the guys of guys, with the two black guys who do podcasting like two other black guys, but it's 4 black guys on one show, but then it's 3 black guys on another show, but none of them guys in Montana and California at the same time. It's What's Good America. Listen, you know what we're going to talk about. You don't know how ignorant we're going to get. We appreciate you tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, blackpeoplemeet.com, Wish,
Black Planet,
Etsy, Amazon Prime, wherever you're watching the show at, we appreciate you for doing it. All right. We just want to make sure we let y'all know that we appreciate you. However you're doing it, we appreciate you for watching.
BlackPlanet.com, baby. I'm old school. Listen, man. Remember Black Planet?
I am C. Turner, the corporate himself, because right now, if we were doing the wrestling, it'd be me, Vince, Shane, Triple H, and then Stone Cold when he came over for a little bit. Anchor don't want to act right, so it is what it is. We just gonna go at it the way we go at it. You know how we do. We make mistakes. We go at it from there. The earbuds coming out, and we ready to party. As I was saying, I am the authority version of Chris Turner tonight, but I want to introduce you to the Generation X, the super kick himself, Mr. Thigh Slap. All right, James, Big Game, Madison, Walton the third. What's going on, big dog?
Well, I can't tell. Are we still recording in Spotify for podcasters?
We out of that, man. We just on YouTube right now, so we just got the visuals.
All right, I'm gonna leave that joint then. Listen, America, as Anchor has done once again to us, because let's just call a spade. That's still that Anchor take. That shit was not happening when we was in Spotify's app. For real. Anchor need to get their shit together. Let me be real with you, Chris Turner, about what's happening here. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about the subliminal disses, you know, in regards to what we're going to do. I mean, there's some things that are obviously right in front of your face. You see my name. We'll get to him in a second and the impact that he has on both of us. But like I said, sometimes it's just subliminal disses that you just have to do. And you just put stuff up to the screen and you just, you know, it's really who you are. But, you know, at the same time.
It's an educated diss is what it is. Like, you got to have a little bit of brain power to yourself to get that one.
And I mean, the shit just tastes good, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I almost wish I had some orange juice for this shit. All right. Let's get to the truth of this. I want to commend the Los Angeles Lakers for getting as far as they got. I'm going to start with that. I didn't think they were going to get past Golden State. So,
no,
kudos to them for making it this far. I'm just going to start with that. Because, you know, like, I don't really and I've seen this comparison throughout my timelines and black social media, you know, but that Lakers fan base is eerily similar to other fan bases at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a Dallas Cowboys to it. There's an Alabama Crimson Tide to it. There's a Green Bay Packers to it, bro. Like, it's just sometimes, man, I don't know.
Go on the move. Keep going.
Yeah, I figured you was just getting to man, look like we in a Jay-Z video for I Know right now. Boy, that shit is blurring, boy. But you coming through crystal clear. So that's just where I want to start with it all, CT. Like, I'm going to start just with that and commend them, you know, on the job that they did getting there. That's the start. Now, let's really hash into all the things that really come to my mind. A lot of things that have been said over the years have now just happened. And it happened on LeBron's watch. And this has got nothing to do with disrespecting him, but, you know, that last thing he was holding on to, LeBron James has never been swept.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a That's a thing of the past as of about an hour now.
I've heard that one for as long as I can remember. And we've touched on the positives I think LeBron James has had, on this generation. He's done a lot of things that have been very good. But one of the things that he's done that has been absolutely horrible is we now have a generation of kids and people that think it's just good enough to achieve certain things. And I think he's responsible for that. And I don't know how it happened in this world. And I don't want to blame him for that. But it's something about him. Well, I've seen him get more benefit of the doubt than anybody we ever grew up watching. Like, people act like Michael Jordan was just gifted the titles that he earned. Like, no, like that dude, they used to rip him.
You
can't get it done.
You pretty much despite the Jordan rules, which came along later. People don't realize that it wasn't like he had the Jordan rules the entire time. The Jordan rules came along later. Before that, Mike was getting mugged for 82 games. Like, straight.
Couldn't win. He's selfish. All he cares about is scoring. Scoring champions can't win championships. It doesn't work that way. Yada, yada, yada. And, and then he rose to a point of, well, what are you going to say? His last 6 full seasons he played before coming back for the Wizards, dude was a champion. He had to go play baseball to get beat in the 90s. So it's like, he basically put a cloud over, and he didn't, but he did. Everybody, poor Kenny Smith. I mean, he's the one guy that's on TV and has to answer for it all the time. But everybody looks at them 2 titles and they go, what would have happened if Bill wouldn't have left? Would you have beaten him? Because everybody, they talk about how Houston used to beat the brakes off him in the regular season because of, Hakeem was a dream, and he was a nightmare for motherfuckers. But
don't get me wrong, that dream shake is a pain. And my honest thing, before I let you keep going, I think the Bulls would have split titles with the Rockets. I honestly do. I don't think they would have went and had 8 straight titles, but I think Houston would have won that first year, and then Mike would have came back and got him the next year.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it, but at the end of the day, I think what I'm trying to get at with all this is I'm just excited to read my social media tomorrow. So, yeah, we're putting a disclaimer. We're getting our thoughts out now. So we're going to put this video will be out right when everybody else hits. Because I don't want to overanalyze the game and do that. That's not who we are.
No.
But I couldn't believe how many celebrities came out there to watch them get their ass whooped these last 2 games. I mean, they took a whooping in the other one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Play hard tonight. I mean, I give LeBron all the credit in the world. He just needed somebody else to come with him. And Austin Reeves did what he normally has been doing, gave him his 18 to 20. Anthony Davis, I think he's gone, man. I think this is it for LeBron. I think he's coming home. So he's getting out of there.
First he's up, shot down, stand up, I guess, or limp away, whatever AD's gonna do.
Don't do that.
A lot of guys guaranteed themselves because of LeBron. AR-15 just guaranteed himself probably $15 million
a year.
I call it spade a spade. A year. Valentine, you probably just $8 million a year. Like, a lot of people are going to eat from them making it so they make them. And a lot of people are wearing different jerseys for the same, because 30, what is he, 39 now? Yeah, he's 39. A 30 will essentially put y'all on his back and then a triple double just You beat Golden State. I think that you had left in the tank. It really seems that way. I know the next going to be some injury that one has, or his foot, or his ribs, his ankle, his neck. There's going to be some injury that's going to all of us come out tomorrow. That's him, because I've already heard a little bit.
Hey, CT,
Shannon and Skip.
This is super glitchy, bro.
Damn. All
Everything you said glitch.
No, I'm gonna go get my phone. We'll do my phone.
Yeah.
So
I'll stay right in this. We'll come back. I'll stop this.
Well, yeah,
just stay.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll just stay in here. So, America, I want Chris Turner to make his point because I think it was very valid. So I know he's going to go dark here for a second, and I'm going to just speak. And this is not really my strength of this show because I get really, really wordy in these situations. Luckily, I'm just starting my drinking now, so we're going to be all right. But the truth of the matter is this, and I think these things have been said over the years. First and foremost, hey, Zoe, very, very grateful for everything LeBron has done and taken the mantle. Since Kobe kind of passed it to him, LeBron has basically been the face of the league, for the last 10 years, and he's done a phenomenal job, man. And I think it's time to really put a true mark on what this is, because with Carmelo Anthony also retiring today, which is ironic, everybody from that class is either retired in the Hall of Fame, and they're just waiting on LeBron to play his 1 year with Bronny, and then it's over. And what we saw tonight, man, was, to me, I think it's more of a microcosm of his career. And I think the beauty, truly, like the beauty, of LeBron, when you look at it in totality, you look great there, sir.
There we go.
You look great. And the totality of his career, I mean, he did more than enough, in my opinion. He did more than enough. Come back to your point that you were making there.
So what I was saying was, I feel like a lot of guys are about to change uniforms, and it's for a couple different reasons. One is so that there's no doubt that he's going to make a lane for his son to be a Laker. Let's just call that a spade of spade. So whatever point guard, shooting guard, whoever's in the way, D-Lo, AR, whoever it is, he's going to make a way for his son to do his 1 year, possibly 2, because USC is a strong team. But for them to do his 1 year there, and then, all right, hey, make a way for him. Like, figure it out, do whatever trade you got to do, whatever cut I got to make. Let's make this shit happen. And then 2, it is now to the point where I agree with you. AD's got to go home. Go to a place where you can finish off your career. You'll be respected, loved, and cherished no matter what you do there for the most part. But go home, dude. Like, you got your ring. Go home. Because right now, LeBron is all but carrying you all around the court. You can't stay healthy. And like, you're essentially becoming like the joke, the crutch of this team. So just go home. Get max. I don't know if they'll max you out or not, but go home. Play in front of Chicago. Play in front of your people. Go throw basketball camps all around the city. Be respected. Be loved. Because at the end of the day, every last athlete wants a chance to go home and win at home. So, dude, just follow it. Take the cut. Take the max. Whatever it is. Whatever it takes for you to go home. And then the pressure is gone. Just go home. Because
I don't really think there's any pressure on him, Chris. I mean, at the end of the day, the dude delivered a championship.
He did.
And
But
so did LeBron. Like, they got the job done.
He was touted to be one of the best big men of the last 10 years. And he has glimpses, but then at the same time, those glimpses disappear real quick.
But he's got the title. Like I said, at the end of the day, he got it done, man. And I'm not, it's, you know, it'd be like me trying to take away Mac Jones's COVID championship from you. So I ain't going to do that to you either.
You shut your goddamn mouth.
Same shit. Literally, they won in the same year. They won in the same year.
I got nothing against the bubble. Nothing against the bubble at all. That bubble title, you convinced me on that one so many shows ago. That was a harder title to get.
Actually, and I'm gonna give credit to Uncle Julie on that one, because we had him on the show and he was talking about it. So I mean, that's how I feel about AD. Like, is it a failed experiment? No. What I think it is I think Tom Brady in this era has really, really just fucked it up for guys.
Yeah.
Because that dude took so many pay cuts to win. And LeBron James, LeBron, when I think about it, like the perfect analogy of LeBron, and I think you'll appreciate this. LeBron is like The Rock in 2001.
Okay.
Once he kind of saw he had the ability to get out there and he was so over, not only just in the wrestling world, but in Hollywood, when he did SNL and he killed it the first time, immediately he was like, I'm going to be a gazillionaire. He was done. That's all it took was one night on SNL, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm out. See, LeBron, after he won the championships in Miami, he said, never again. He said, I'll never take a pay cut again. He literally said, I sacrificed money to win those titles. And
true. And that he did. And that he did.
So him taking the max deals that he's taken in LA, and then the trades that they had to make. I mean, look at all those guys he traded. I mean, has it worked for him? Yeah, because he got the title.
Got the ring.
So you can never take that away. But this dude traded. This guy had Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson,
Kyle Kuzma.
Well, them guys stayed. This is like the original trade.
The original, yeah.
Like, they all played together, and then LeBron was like, Lee Corso, get him up out of here. Clear that space for AD to come here, and that's how all that stuff went down. Josh Hart was on that team. Like, all these guys that have made playoff runs and they're young guys. I mean, LeBron wasn't having it. I mean, he got Luke Walton out the league, basically. So Luke Walton back to assistant coaching, which is
the same. With that being said, Luke Walton kind of got himself out of there, because if you look at how the Kings are constructed and how they work now, Luke Walton couldn't have done shit with that team. Like, as a young player on the Kings team, there's nothing about my game that Luke Walton can teach me, because the way them boys play basketball, it's fast 99% of the time, and that has never been in Luke Walton's game.
That's hilarious. I think he just took a shot at the last name Walton. Anyway. So I think you're right. I think what we're going to see is there's a lot of guys on this team that benefited. I think Dennis Schroeder, after he blew the money, I think the way he played defensively, he can still go help a team be a big-time six-man start. Austin Reeves is going to be making $20 million a year. He has earned it. This dude is Alex Caruso with a consistent jump shot, which is phenomenal. Lonnie Walker has played himself back into a starting lineup. All that took was one game. And now Lonnie Walker was a first-round draft pick, is back to being Lonnie Walker. That dude was getting buckets since that game. So I credit LeBron and the Lakers for doing that. But all them guys is gone.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell's gone because it ain't working.
Because he disappeared.
He needs the ball in his hands, man. He's not as well. He can shoot it well, but he's not one of them guys, man. Like he's
not an off the ball point guard.
No, he's a lead guard. He needs the ball. So, and then I think that's a lot of it. LeBron is making $40 million a year. This is what helped him get to that, to that billionaire status. That was something that was very important to him. And you could tell once he kind of won the titles and the shoes were taken off and he was doing productive business there. All he saw for LA was my production company. If I can win a title, maybe they won't love me like they love Kobe, but they'll love me enough.
And with you saying that brings me to this. I think after, I can't even pinpoint when it is. Maybe it was last year. Maybe it was a couple years before that. I think his obsessiveness to be better than Jordan let me throw this college word at you. His obsessiveness to be better than Jordan dissipated ridiculously, I think, after this last Golden State title. Now it became, all right, what kind of legacy can I now leave on this world and for my family? Because once Golden State in the LeBron era pulled off this last championship, which it's hard for me to even say if that was their last or not, because they're pretty healthy and they got money they're gonna spend on somebody else, and like
dude, they talking about trading Jordan,
about getting the Greek and getting the Greek.
It's either gonna be Giannis or it's gonna be Jaylen Brown. They get and trade Wiggins. They get ready to upgrade at small forward.
Exactly. So like that's to say that Steph and the gang have gotten 4 titles in the LeBron era. Like I think it then became, all right, they're never gonna love me more than Mike. I'm never gonna be able to outdo him championship wise. Let me get as many records as I can possibly get. And then let me build up generational wealth for so much in my family. It's about to be ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's just an interesting legacy, and we know he's not done. We know he's not. I mean, if he retired,
no,
shocked.
Oh, dude, that would shock the world.
But I think we've just got to have some realism because we've got enough people in the media now that are younger guys, that try to make these arguments, and you try to, you've always tried to defend them, and you defend them from funky ways. Like, what I mean? Like Nick Wright has always been his thing. Jordan got swept, and it's like, yeah, Jordan got swept. But, the argument that people never make on TV, and this is a great place to waste this argument because it's $1 million argument. See, the reason why there's 2 reasons why there's never been a true reason to even put this discussion with Michael Jordan, LeBron James together. Michael Jordan made the playoffs for the first 13 years of his career. He made the playoffs every year. Mm-hmm. LeBron James didn't make the playoffs to his 3rd year. So already there, he's disqualified.
It's already done.
Because Larry Bird did it. Magic did it. Magic was in the playoffs every year. And they won 5 titles. So you're already disqualified. When it comes to that, it's not just the titles, but you want to talk about Michael being swept. Yeah, he got swept by the 86 Boston Celtics, one of the top 5 greatest teams in the history of
How about basketball. Say which everybody on that team is in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, the entire starting 5, minus Danny Ainge. But Danny Ainge is going to go in as a GM.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and then he got swept in 85. Against the Milwaukee Bucks, who had Sidney Moncrief and Terry Cummins and
they had guys like
Marcus Johnson. Go back. Get my other gun. Shoot
Dude,
that.
like those guys were like the epitome of mid-range basketball. Like it's just like it was like
Bucket
granted
getters
it
in
was a different
Milwaukee.
game. But yeah,
So
they got buckets.
they there was bucket getters, in East. And so I just think when it's all said and done, and I think to lose on this stage, because obviously a lot of people watched the Golden State series. There were a lot of
Yeah,
eyes on that because that was great
yeah.
television for all of us. And you're like, all right, LeBron, okay. Like you got them guys, like, and you beat them fair
Mm-hmm.
and square, and you beat them bad, and you deserve that.
Right.
But this new generation,
Don't care about you.
I mean, they literally said, like, Denver, I mean, to their credit, this is their first finals in the history of their team, which is amazing to think about. All
They've
the
had
great
some good
players
teams.
they've had play for them. And this is the first year they're going to the NBA Finals. And you're looking at a guy like Nikola Jokic, who we have talked about recently in the show.
God, I hate him.
And you see him shooting Dirk Nowitzki step back threes. And he's not even as athletic as Dirk.
At all. God.
I mean, Dirk could play wide receiver in the league compared to Nikola Jokic right now.
Nikola Jokic is the epitome of what you'll see in the LA Fitness on a Sunday afternoon.
Dude, it's like that one dude that's been going around Instagram that plays outdoors. Have you seen the video of that this little chunky cat? And he's got
I
the
see him.
Jokic.
Yep.
They're
But
like
he gets buckets. And he gets
it's
buckets.
like they're like it's the greatest highlight, and it is because you be watching him throw them passes, and you're like, hey, this dude is like a 5'8" Nikola Jokic out here,
And he gets buckets.
weighing in at 270 pounds. Boy, he looking like Otis out there. So
Now we say all that not to say that it wasn't the fact that the Lakers lost it. No, Denver did what they were supposed to do. Like Denver won this series. Like they didn't. It wasn't that the Lakers lost it. Denver won. And if 4-0 wasn't enough to really just show you, like, outside of this last game, these games weren't very competitive. Like they had stretches where they were, but they weren't very damn competitive. Like, and let me go on public record, and this gets to wherever it gets to. I personally was not a Michael Porter Williams Jr. I was not a fan. Like I was not a fan when he came out of college.
Michael Williams for Mike, yeah, you got it right. MPJ, Michael Porter Jr.
Like I was not a fan of him when he came out of college. I didn't like him out of high school because there was so much hype up built around him, and like his game didn't seem. Because granted, when they show you like the high school mixtapes and all that, like they're just fantastic, and these dudes going in and out. Like he had a NBA 12-point a night game in high school, but he was scoring 40 because it was all mid range and like tip ins and like just like nothing was flashy about it, but he got buckets. But it was just like, all right, dude, you're like a top 5 player in the country. Like how? Like where is it? But he was scoring like 35 points a game. I want to give that man his roses, his respect right now. Granted, they got to the finals. This is where they should be and all that good stuff. I didn't see this game out of him. Like this series alone, I saw it a little bit last series. This series alone, Buddy can ball. Like I know that doesn't mean much because he's an NBA player and all that stuff, but like Buddy can go. I got to give him credit for that one.
Yeah, and I mean he's been the key. I mean, to Denver's credit, this is the first time they've had all three of these guys healthy.
Yeah,
for a substantial period. Jokic has been by himself for the last couple of years. That's why he's been winning MVPs because he's had to do so much. So the year he has all three of these guys all season, Jamal Murray has been itching like to show the world. This is, I was doing this before I blew my knee out. Like this ain't
I'm him.
Like this is who I am. It's the reason why I stayed 1 year in Kentucky. And John Calipari came and gave me the talk and said, "No, you need to go." Gave him the same talk he gave Devin Booker. Go get your money, get a lottery pick.
On the
Get
same
up
note,
out
and
of
I'll
there.
let you get back to it. I respect Cal because like the speech he gave Boogie was like, listen, you can stay in college and help me feed my family, or you can leave and go feed yours.
Yeah. And then Devin Booker he was talking about. I remember that because Devin Booker was coming off the bench. It was in his he had a 30 for 30 or something. It was really great. It was one of the better
Yep.
ones I had seen. And I loved watching that and everything he had been through. And it actually made me like Kentucky just a little bit basketball. You know, I don't hate Kentucky the way I hate Duke and Kansas because listen, we're not supposed to use that H word. But when it comes to
But still,
Duke
that's a hatred.
and Kansas,
That's a hatred.
whoo, I'm telling you, them fan bases is just like the Los Angeles Lakers. It's just like the Green Bay Packers. It's just like the Dallas Cowboys. It's just like Alabama Crimson Tide fans.
I can't disagree.
All the
I
wild,
can't
man.
disagree.
New York Yankees fans. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Yankees up out of here, man. I'm gonna take them up out of there. That fan base has been humbled. That fan base has been humbled. They ain't won in a while.
Right.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
They gotten there, but they ain't won. They ain't won.
they're significantly humble more than they used to be like the
I
early
mean,
2000s,
A-Rod's
late
getting
90s.
a whole lot more love in New York.
Justifiably so, though.
They're like, you know what, man? All through that wild shit, we didn't really, fuck with you, but dude, at least you cashed us in one. So yeah, man. I think when it's all said and done, I just saw something. That vibration I just had was an ESPN link because LeBron was just on the podium talking about he's got to ponder his future. Yeah, he's thinking about who's going to sign my kid.
Exactly.
That contract runs out, I think, next year.
Yep.
It's either
Conveniently.
next year, or his player option is going to be available after next year. And this is a guy that thought if I come here, I chose AD. AD can get me to 5, and then I got to bring home 6. That's what
Right.
LeBron saw. He's like, if AD can be that guy, and I can be 1B, and then to get that 6-1 home, then I get to have my last dance story, or I will the team. And I got, he's probably got one more of those seasons left in his body because he takes such good care of himself.
I don't know. Like this,
he's a fucking machine, man.
he is, but dude, like this new game is. There was a lull there in the NBA where like the game slowed down. Like this game has now picked up speed where even with like load management and all this other stuff, like on them nights you gotta go, like you gotta go. There's no more slow. Let's set up the offense. Let's wait on defense. Like you got teams like, for instance, Sacramento, which is right up the road. Like they played the old school, that Arkansas basketball, 48 minutes of hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, you gotta. It's that Nolan Richardson basketball where it's just like, hey, all right, you better hope everything tied up because if you ain't stretched before this, you won't be breathing again until halftime.
And that comes back to my point about LeBron, where he's going to have to make a decision. And it's going to be a financial decision. That to me is the reason why they didn't get over the hump. Because at some point you have to make the choice. You have to do what you did. You did it when you were young because you knew what Dwayne was worth.
Yeah.
And you knew you had to make sure that Chris was at least getting the money because Chris was the one that was going to have to sacrifice. He couldn't be 26 and 12.
No.
Chris knew that. Chris was like, dude, I want rings. Like, I'm good. I've been up here in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? And Drake didn't make it. It hadn't become the 6.
No.
Like, it became the 6 right as he went to Miami.
It was like Cardinal official then when in Toronto at that time.
Yeah. He was the hottest dude out of there. And that to me is that when you look back at it, like we want to really analyze why he never got to 6. We can look at, because it's LA. I'm telling you right now, the way that the way they played this year, you start seeing Jack and the Kardashians are there. Adele's there every night with Rich Paul. Denzel came out of hibernation to watch it. Like that shit. If you don't want to play in front of that, the fuck are you in it for? But because he has taken so much money, you got guys going like, yeah, I'd love to go play in LA and be a guy that helps LeBron do that.
But not for pennies. Not
yeah,
for
I'm
pennies.
going to play for $5.9 million. Maybe I do for 15. Plus, I live in California. You used to live here. They taking 33% of that.
Off the top, before you see a dollar.
Man, look. So I say it all to say it'll be nice for Denver to have their moment because everybody outside the hardcore fans of Denver, Colorado, there's nobody that said Denver was going to do it the way they did it, unless you just were a Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. Like that's your triplets, man. Like you just, did I believe they'd be in the conference finals? Yeah. But did I think Golden State was going to end up beating them? That's what I thought. I think I said it on the last show we did.
So did I.
They have their moment. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray are going to get their opportunity to play two teams that they can beat. But speaking of that, it is time.
Very briefly, because the series is still 3-0, and I don't want to jinx anybody. And
I don't believe in jinx. I'm a Christian. Jimmy Butler.
I don't want to go too
Jimmy
deep
Butler
down in
is
this
the
because we got
motherfucker.
another game.
I'm cursing.
Jimmy
Butler
is that man. Himmy Butler.
Himmy Buckets.
Come on.
Chris, just read the name for him. Read the name for him. What's it say?
Jimmy G Buckets, and the G is for gets. Jimmy gets buckets. Period.
So
listen, let me go on my rant for a hot second. Like I said, because I don't want to touch this game too much until like it comes and goes off tomorrow. We are Eastern Conference Finals champions. I'm gonna say this. One of the many things that Chicago has done wrong in recent history. I want to. You know what? I won't even go down that route. Jimmy Butler has now, as so many Chicagoans have been, is now a Floridian by blood. All right. Dwayne Wade is ours. Jimmy G Buckets is now ours. Whoever else you got that needs the infusion of life, whoever needs some of that ecstasy that's floating around in the air, going in their blood system to get revitalized, send them on down to 305-786, baby. We got them. That's all you got to do. You want Tom Thibodeau to be a better coach again? Let him come learn under one of the greatest coaches in the game right now, Eric Spoelstra. What, you got one of them old Simeon guys who made it to the league that didn't really do shit? Send him down to Miami. Okafor or whatever, when he was at Simeon or wherever the fuck he was at in Chicago, send him down to Miami. We got you. Jimmy Buckets has single-handedly changed it from the Ronnie Cycli days and the Tim Hardaway when they were thugging it out with Zoe and all that. But then they got a little flashy when you brought the Heatles in, which, by the way, I hate that name. But when it was LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh, had Birdman in the mix and all that. They're doing little TikTok videos. I think it was Vine at the time. Now he's bringing it back to that other side of the tracks, that other side of the bridge, Miami, all right? That Opalaco, Miami, where you might get in a fight in the middle of the game. Jimmy G Buckets is not single-handedly, has brought this team to be a team that you don't really want to mess with. Please, I see that you have so much that's going through your brain right now. By all means.
Okay, I'll open my eyes because, I think I'm going to preference this with a question for somebody that has been a Miami Heat fan since they were brought into existence in, I believe, 1988. I mean, probably the first NBA jersey you probably had was probably a a Ronnie Cycli or
You damn right.
maybe a Steve
There is.
Smith, maybe a Glenn
I
Rice.
I had Ronnie Cycli, the white one.
If Jimmy Butler, I think I already know the answer to this, but I want to ask you as a true Heat fan, and I'm happy for you because these last 4 or 5 years you guys have had, this is what you guys live for. You know, it's great to have all that attention to Miami when LeBron was there, and you're in the finals every year. But
it's different now, though.
Probably been these playoff runs and the way Jimmy Butler kind of conducts himself. You know, and that's the Texas in him at the end of the day, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then, you know, Chicago embraced him and he loved everything about the city. He took this shit down to Miami, and Pat Riley's a coach thug anyway. Everybody know that.
Oh my God.
Pat Riley don't play. He don't play. And when he says Spo's the guy.
Spo's the guy.
Spo's like, yeah, this is nice. This nice gig here.
That's a hell of a stamp, by the way. That's a hell of a stamp.
So it's kind of a two-part question. If Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat continue on their run, get to the NBA Finals, which would be Jimmy Butler's second NBA Finals,
mm-hmm.
and then they somehow can win a best of 7. Does this one become the greatest championship in the history of the Miami Heat franchise? And then 2, Dwayne Wade's getting the first statue if he doesn't already have it outside American Airlines Arena.
Not yet.
But does Jimmy Butler get the second statue? Floor is yours.
So to answer your first question, I believe I like our chances so much better against Denver than I did against the Lakers or Golden State. I do. I feel like we can match speed with these guys. With the Lakers or whatever, like you never know which AD you're gonna get. You never know which LeBron you're gonna get. And with Golden State, like it's the same deal. Like Golden State, they can have 45 points in the first quarter. So not saying that Denver can't do it, but I like our chances better against Denver. I think it's going to go full 7. I truly feel like we're going to win. This isn't the fan of me speaking. This is me generally saying that I think we'll win in 7. I really feel like that this is the one. Yes, this will be the greatest championship in Miami sports, period. Main reason why this isn't the South Beach Heat, because essentially that's what the Wade, Bosh, and LeBron team was. Like that was the pretty side of Miami. Like that was the Miami that you come down to come see and like, oh man, let's make a day of it. Let's go to Miami. Let's go to the beach and all this other nonsense.
Wait. Okay. All right. So what side of Miami was Shaq and D Wade and Jay Will and Gary Payton and Antoine Walker and James Posey, all them guys in 06? What side of Miami?
So that's the downtown district. It's a little rough. It's a little rough, but the art district is down there. And if you go too far, then you get to like the homeless centers and all other nonsense.
Are you saying they like Ocean Drive?
Exactly. Like you get a little bit of everything with that 06 team.
Okay.
This heat is not Star Island. This ain't South Beach. Like this is when you get on. This is like 95 before the water. This is when you just leaving Fort Lauderdale. Like this is Hialeah, Opelika. This is Little Haiti. Like this is where you might get stabbed on the way to the game. Like this is the Miami that Floridians know. Like this is the Miami team that you're not going to see. You're going to see a ton of stars because of where the arena is located. You're going to see this is the Rick Rosses, the adult boys at this game, still betting on the game. The old school drug dealers are at this game. Like everything surrounding the stadium itself is actually Floridians, not imports, not movie stars, not Gloria Estefan, not Um, what's the boy named Ricky La Vida Loca? This isn't that. Like this is Pablo fresh off the boat moving keys. Like this is that Miami.
How you go from Menudo to Scarface in 5 words?
And that's what I'm saying. You don't get Menudo, you get Scarface in this one. Watching the game
This dude went
because
from Ricky Martin to Tony Montana.
and that's what this Heat team represents. Like this represents that grit, that grimy, like that just that hardcore. Actually, this is Miami. And if they win it, yeah, this would be the greatest championship. And if they win it, Jimmy gets a third. He'll be the third statue because you got to give Pat or Spoelstra one first.
Well, I don't
So
think Pat wants one. I don't
if
think,
they win this championship, I don't think he has a choice.
Pat doesn't seem like a statue guy. But I mean, his ring count is
Getting up there.
yeah, he's getting up there. It's, because Steve Kerr's got 9. Red Auerbach. I mean, shit, Red Auerbach had 9 as a coach, and then he had all those rings as a GM. Red easily. I think Red Auerbach's easily got 14, 15 rings. So like he's like the guy. Phil's got 11. Steve Kerr's got 9. And I think Pat Riley has 7.
So he's quietly creeping up there.
Actually, he's got 8 because I think he was assistant coach on the 80 team. Magic when Magic won the finals MVP.
That's right.
I think he was assistant coach on that team. So Pat's got 8 as a coach and as a GM, president. So I mean, Chris, this is what I love about excuse me, America. He put me to sleep when he was just disrespecting my city like that.
My apologies, but it came from the heart.
This is what I love about what has kind of transpired with the way these series have gone. It's like people that, have loved Nikola Jokic, and yeah, he's won those MVPs, but they haven't really been a contender. Gotten really a chance to see what everybody in that fan base. And then for me with Jimmy Butler, like it's personal for me, having met him and, and everything he meant to Chicago. I mean, this is the guy that had to take it over after Derrick Rose blew his knee out. I mean, that wrecked the city because he was coming. Like, think about if Jimmy and Derrick would have been healthy together for them years.
That's a hell of a team because that's Jimmy, Derrick, Boozer, Joe Kim. Like that's a hell of a team.
You know what I'm saying? And so Jimmy had to step up way earlier, and he lived up to it, man. He gave us all he had. He started making all-star teams with us, and he was getting us to the playoffs. The game was getting better. And here's a guy, man, who in one game has done the most. And I've said this about Devin Booker, and I do believe when it's all said and done, I think Devin Booker will eventually get there because he's got the same tenacity in him. I think he just has to get his personal life where he's able to kind of separate that stuff to where it's not getting to him. Because I think everybody talking shit about Kendall on the court with him, and I think it kind of caught up to him. Kind of ran out of gas there. But real talk, that whole Jimmy Butler, Grant Williams interaction in games was a game 2.
I loved it. 2.
That's
3.
the closest thing I've seen to Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan in game form. That moment when he looked at him and smiled and said,
you know you fucked up, right? You fucked up, right?
Yeah, hit him with that Bill Duke. Because Kevin Garnett's he's been on a great run. He's been doing a lot of podcasts. You ever hear Kevin Garnett tell the story of his young years?
Yeah.
Did the same shit to Mike in a game.
Punch him.
And Mike lit him
Yeah.
up. And he said, hey, that was 19, that had been like 96 or 97. He said, nah, I'd never talk shit to Mike ever again. He's like, I was done. You know, Doug Collins called him old. Jordan scored 51 at 41.
Yeah.
Don't ever take me out the game. You know, if you feel like I can play, don't you ever do that. And that's what I saw Jimmy Butler do. I saw him dip into his Kobe and his Jordan bag because right after that, he came right back at him and went and one and went right in his face. That shit looked like Xavier McDaniel, Michael Jordan, 1992.
Yeah.
When Jordan pushed Scotty out the way, it was like,
That's
one,
what you want.
first of all, you're not going to hit me because I'm Michael Jordan. Michael knew that too. Michael knew what
Yeah.
time. Wouldn't nobody punching Michael Jordan in a game. That shit ain't happening.
Be thrown out the league forever.
Yeah, you ain't gonna do that. You're not throwing that right hand. And I know Mike was out there saying some slick ass shit too. So, you know, I am reveling in this. I am really hoping they're able to match the sweep. Chris Turner, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. It's not my give me a minute, but bro, this is a big one for you, man. And I usually do not root for you to have any type of team sport success because it's been so long since I've had any. I mean, come on, man. How long ago did Justin Fields play for Ohio State in the Big Ten championship and all that shit? It's been a while.
It's been a couple of years. It's been a couple of years now.
I mean, the Cubs won the World Series 7 years ago. I don't even want to talk about the other two teams. I've talked enough about them.
I got no ill will or hatred to the Cubbies. I had a great time when I was in Wrigleyville. I enjoyed the game. They were fantastic seats. I love Wrigleyville, so I have nothing ill will to say about the Cubbies.
So, I mean, this would be exciting. I kind of want this one for you because I like when the pure fans get an opportunity to enjoy shit.
Yeah.
Like being out here, you know, you can kind of tell that, you know, you can talk to some guys about the team and it's like, you know what, you wasn't rooting for these motherfuckers when Rick Barry won the title in 76.
No. I
can tell. Because I know more about your team than you do. Whenever I know more about your team, you got no time. You got no time for you. But this has been a real dope situation, you know, for you guys and Miami and all the fans there, man, because yeah, I think you're right. I think Jimmy Butler has been probably, in my opinion, the biggest breath of fresh air in professional sports.
Yeah.
And you look at what he's done with all these guys. It's not a old team.
No.
Bam Adebayo is like 26 years old. And Bam bought into him immediately. But look at how much Max Strus has improved. Yeah, like between last year and this year. Like these two teams played each other last year. And this was not the same looking type of series. Like Jimmy had to do everything. Jimmy had 16 points yesterday. 16. Okay, Vince is like, man, I'm about to walk into this because I can shoot. Max Strus is like, this is what y'all got me here to do.
Dude, like Vincent, Strus, Duncan, like it's
Duncan Robinson is fucking living up to his $80 million contract. He's like,
exactly.
No. Let me go ahead and get my piece of this. Okay, who went down? Okay, let me step in here and be what I got paid to do. I mean,
and that's the thing.
Remember when he signed that contract? Remember that contract got signed? Everybody was like, oh,
why?
We think Pat might be losing it. Pat Riley. Did you see they showed him in the stands yesterday? Pat Riley, all he did was this.
Bro,
he's like, you don't think me and Jerry West still fucking talk?
Constantly.
Like they created the Showtime Lakers together. Like that whole thing. Jerry got the players, and Pat made sure that they were ready to do fucking battle from 82 to fucking, yeah. I mean, Pat took over in 82, or maybe it was the middle of 81, somewhere in there. Like I've seen the story. He takes over. They win titles in 82. They're in the finals in 84 and lose. They win in 85. Got beat by Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon in 86. They win in 87. They win in 88. They were in the finals in 89. And then he was gone after 90 when they lost to Portland. And he went to New York. So Pat Riley was either in the conference finals or the finals. Every year he was the head coach.
The man knows what he's doing. That's what it comes down.
And Jerry West was the guy that was designing all that shit. Drafting James Worthy and getting Bob McAdoo on to be the sixth man. Drafted Michael Thompson, Byron Scott. These are all.
Don't forget about Green and all these other guys.
AC Green, yeah. Like, you don't think Pat Riley learned what type of players fit what he's looking for and how he trains protocol? It's just like, man, it's a beautiful series to me because on paper, Denver should beat the Heat.
Yeah.
Get to it. Let's talk with a preference of if we get what we both want, which is we want Miami in the final. On paper, Denver should win in 5 games.
Yeah.
But you know how gritty Jimmy fucking Butler is. And he is going to do the unthinkable. And he's going to steal. He's going to try to steal game 1 or game 2. And if he steals game 1 or game 2,
it's all up for grabs. It's all up for grabs.
You better win in Miami. That's all you got to tell people is like, and that arena is not an easy place to play either.
No.
Like it isn't, because these are very, very highly educational basketball fans now because of the LeBron era and because of the Dwayne Wade, Shaq era. Like they've seen how titles are won. So they know as fans, and you know it too. I don't know the last time you've been in a stadium, but it's funny how the fan gets educated and understands what they need to do their part.
Quickly.
You think about the Foxborough for all those years. I remember Peyton Manning was playing quarterback in Indianapolis. You couldn't hear, you could hear a pin drop when they had the ball on offense. They knew how to shut themselves up. Like, oh, great play. Okay, shut the fuck up.
All right, shut up.
Shut up.
He's coming.
Peyton's in the no huddle. We gotta shut the fuck up till he scores. He'd be like, yeah. Shh.
And he got death quiet in there too.
Dude, I mean, for football game, yeah. And that back when they weren't, at least Peyton was like, they weren't miking us back in the Indianapolis days, so he could do all his Omaha shit. They started miking him. He was like, fuck, man, they can hear all my checks.
Uh-huh.
So, like I said, man, like we said in the last podcast, man, we've just been fans, dude. Like, I mean, it's everything we asked for, minus Philadelphia. I'd have loved to have seen it be Philadelphia, Miami. And then if Miami was Philadelphia, we'd be having a ball right now on the show.
Oh, it's pure ignorance at that point. But at this time, I feel as though with your drink diminishing the way it is, with a couple yawns that have came out from the both of us, it's now time for the Grammy Award-winning segment, which is Give Me a Minute. Would you like to go first or would you like to go second?
I feel like I should sing the Give Me a Minute Grammy tone jingle. Give me a minute. I'm going second because I got to see what the hell you're going to say. Because whenever you ask me to do a show, I already know you've thought about shit. It's because you got to give me a minute. It ain't because you got a topic, because you got some shit you want to say. So yeah, I'm going second.
As my co-host takes a sip for me, I appreciate that. I'm still on my barely drinking kick. America, excuse me, I'm sorry. Can you take another sip for me, if you don't mind?
I got plenty of that.
I gotta cater this one. I gotta tailor this one. Black America.
Uh-oh.
Give me a minute.
Oh, that's gonna be bad.
I was strolling through social media today as I've been trying to like wean myself off of being on it so much. Um, they're doing a remake, and it's not even a remake. They're doing a movie version of the play, uh, Color Purple. They have Fantasia playing the Whoopi Goldberg part. Regina playing like the sister, and the girl from Orange is the New Black, and it's like playing the Oprah part. And they got a bunch of talented young actors and actresses in this movie. And it's supposed to be an adaptation of the play, not so much the movie. Listen, I say I like to say this, don't fuck this movie up. Um, Color Purple, and there's three movies like you have to watch growing up being black. Color Purple's the first one because there's 1,000 lines that you can quote that any other person in the black atmosphere is going to know how to quote the line that comes behind it. Color Purple is it. All right, now Purple Rain, like Color Purple is it. Miss Seeley, like, come on, man, like Miss. Oh, all right, listen, don't mess this up. Color. I will watch Color Purple right now. I will skip work to watch Color Purple. You told Hoppo to beat me. Come on, man. Like, I understand we're in an age now where we remake things and we do a different adaptation of things. And hey, we want to give you a different spin on it. Because hell, they're remaking Harry Potter, which that's another give me a minute for another time. Do not, do not mess up the Color Purple. And yes, I know Oprah's tied into it and other black people are tied into the remake of it. I don't care nothing about that. Don't fuck this movie up. America, that's been my minute.
Nicely done.
You told Hoppo to beat me. I love Hoppo, but if he beats me again, I kill him. I kill him dead. Hey, you sure is ugly. Sorry, I'm there now.
I love it. Well, this should be an interesting diversion. Well, America. Give me a minute. Well, it was appropriate that the Jack Daniels ran out tonight with the ginger beer as we're going in there. And I had to switch back to our unofficial sponsor, Kirkland Vodka, as I would like to bring up a point in this Give Me a Minute that it was a Give Me a Minute a couple of years ago. And I'm just going to have to call somebody out on it because as I do my due diligence, I had listened every Monday as I listened to their podcast. And I'm going to look directly at Chris Turner as I say this. And I'm going to challenge him to do this with all these practices and all these tournament games and all this expensive money he has spent on his expensive phone, because I think we probably have both have the same phone and I'm broke. You still ain't watched One Tree Hill yet, have you?
I have not.
Chris Turner, I'm telling you.
And I've had opportunities to.
You have got to watch this show. You have to watch this show, okay? First and foremost, no. It is not going to feel like what Jimmy Butler feels like right now for the Miami Heat.
Okay.
But you have got to watch this because the one thing I know you will appreciate about this show is you will go, I see why Walt got hooked. You will do it. You'll be like, yeah, just give it 3 episodes. If in 3 episodes, Chris Turner, if in 3 episodes you go, you know what, this ain't for me, feel free to call me on and give me a minute. But if you go and text me or go, all right, I'm in it, I will start rewatching it again.
Okay.
With you.
I will make you this promise. I will have at least 3 episodes watched by Sunday.
And if you go, well, I can't even mess with it. But if you go, I'm in. I promise you, I will catch up to you.
Okay.
And we will, at some point, when we go to season 1, we will do our own One Tree Hill podcast, and we will tag the girls in it, and we will send it to their.
I'm in.
We send it to their Instagram, and hey, all we're gonna do is talk about how wild this stuff is, and we're gonna talk about it from high school. Because, bro, I'm telling you, I mean, obviously, I always talk about this. My high school was 97.5% white. So, with that being said, some wild shit that happens, but some of the shit that seems dreamy and far-fetched or whatever, like it, I was like, I don't know. I saw some similar shit happen in my high school, bro. Like there was some wild things happening in Hensel South. You know, especially my junior year, man, when I was starting to get in with the football dudes, you know what I'm saying? Them dudes, they were wild, man. There's some drug use. Anyway, point is, Chris Turner, I challenge you. I challenge you to prove me wrong about this show. In fact, I think just for shits and giggles, I'm going to go back and figure out what show episode that was that I went crazy about One Tree Hill. I think you've got it in the Spotify. And I'm listening to myself talk about it before we do that. America, that's been my minute. And OTH, girls, we love you. We do. Chris Turner doesn't even know how much he loves Hillary Burton, Sophia Bush, Joy Lentz. He doesn't even know yet. But he gonna love y'all real quick.
With all that being said, big shouts out to the OTH podcast, One Tree Hill. Big shouts out to 9 Round Fitness, Knockout Smoothie. Chic workwear. Comfortable workwear to watch. Comfortable workwear to wear while you're watching One Tree Hill. Big shouts out to Kirkland Vodka, because I know where the money's at when we drinking Kirkland. I know where we at. Financially, I know where we at when we drinking Kirkland Vodka.
Hey, can I be honest with you?
Go ahead.
Even when it's great, is what we drink. What do I need a Ciroc bottle for?
You got a point.
I got kids. I'm out here like Hugh Slater right now.
I hope you like Nick Cannon so much you just stole your school clothes money. With all that being
I'm broke. Tell your mother I'm cursing in the house. Shit.
Make sure you tune in on Spotify, Podcasters, Anchor, whatever it chooses to be, where we can post stuff on there. Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever else you can find podcasting from two great young men such as ourselves. I guess middle-aged now? We're middle-aged men now? God, that sucks.
Man, you've been middle-aged since 2017. Stop playing.
You ain't lying. You've been middle-aged since 1998. All that being said, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. But the same way I'm in this podcast tonight is the same way I ended every night by asking one question. And that one question is...
What's good, America? Subliminal disses.
Good, America.
Subliminal disses.